like Stephanie said once, like we really was aware in the beginning. She said that a lot of times she has this thing that she starts something, she has this goal, and then, for example, exercising. Let's say I have my 30-day fitness challenge I want to do, and it's like exercising every day. And then one day I don't feel like exercising at all. And then maybe it's 2 days I don't feel like exercising at all. And then suddenly you just feel so disappointed with yourself and you stop. And that
Yeah.
happened to me so many times too. And but if you know, really, if you know that there is that this person, you told them that, oh, I'm doing this 30-day fitness challenge, you want to finish it to show them that you were able to do it. And yeah, and also, like as I said, hearing from you guys like, oh, Tao, you did a really great job, I felt like I wanted to hear those words. So I wanted to be a better person and to really achieve something so that I can hear those words.
Yeah, but to your point, when Stephanie said that, I also learned a lot from her about grace. Like if you skip today, you skip tomorrow, it's okay. Like you just forgive yourself and then do it again the next day. Like it I think it branches out from the perfectionist in us that it has to be 30. If it's not 30, then it's 30 or nothing. But in real life, it's not 30 or nothing. It's like Sheila counting 28 out of like something out of, but it doesn't have to be 100%. But if we already decide that it's that, then if we don't get to that level, we're just gonna give up. And I think this, yeah, makes us more accountable and makes us realize that it's okay. Okay, we skipped it, we try again. Like with my journaling, I tried this, I show this but nothing, try again a different thing or this. Like it's okay, and I shouldn't be frustrated with myself. And if it's not this time, it can be another time and it's still okay. So that grace, I think, is very uh it should be always in our thoughts with whatever we do, because we really keep pushing ourselves to a higher level. But we have to have that space for grace for ourselves to forgive ourselves if we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I wrote something in my journal because I saw a video, and that one guy really said something that I was like, oh, this is so true. So he said that, like, he was defining how, like, an action plan to reach your goals, right? And he was like, all he had all these bullet points which you should follow. And then there was one point where he said that it's really important to set a deadline for the things, because it's because you're working towards the deadline, right? And we've been doing that, and that's, for example, those 30 days you want to finish your fitness challenge. But that always that it doesn't, as we said, that it's not always going the perfect way as you want, and sometimes you just don't do it. And then he said, set a deadline and sub deadlines, and what happens if you don't achieve your goal in the deadline. And then he said, set another deadline. It's fine if you don't reach your deadline, just set another deadline. Don't just give up. And I think that's something very important in reaching goals in general. And a lot of people are struggling with it. I struggle with it too sometimes. I am trying to fix that, when I'm not able to do something I set to myself. For example, I said to myself that I want to finish my master thesis and my master's this semester. I found out that I'm not able to do it, and that I had to tell myself that it's okay if I slow down a little bit, but I have to set a deadline that I will finish this in the next semester. That I can't just say, okay, this was a failure. Now this is the end of my of my whole masters, right? And I think, yeah, so I think that's a great thing to take from that.
I actually remember one conversation we had. I think it was one Friday, and the three of us had a hectic week. And we talk about work-life balance, that we can't really balance everything out. Like there can be perfect in every aspect of our life all the times, and that the what matters is how we feel that we feel good about ourselves. I remember there was this one week that Catherine had a lot of things done in her job, that everything gets done and all of that, and um, she there was limited time on other aspect like exercising and all that, and it was still fine, right? So and it happens to me as well. So there were some days that I don't feel like working out, um, because of other commitments. But it's fine. What matters is at the end of the day and at the end of the week, we keep still pushing towards progress, and we're still committed to that. And yeah, just few misses like 30-day challenge, some misses on that, like no X in your tracker, is not the end. So just continue and push hard, and yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
Because we set those goals in the beginning, and we talked about it at the end of 90 days. It was
Yeah.
last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, I think?
Yeah. I
And
think
we
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
and
ago,
we
yeah.
talked about it, and Catherine even like ranked her, but it was like from 1 or 0 to 10.
Yeah, I was ranking. It's still in my board.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like when she was talking about it, I was like, but yeah, you gave yourself like mostly force or something like that in everything, and it's not true because you've done so many things and
So
you should be
much.
proud of yourself. And the same thing with Sheila, because during those 90 days she was like, yeah, so I'm trying to exercise, but I'm like not doing it consistently every time. But then you counted the days you actually did it, right? and,
Yeah.
and then you found out that you actually did it quite like
Very well.
a lot. You did it well. So yeah, it's really nice to also keep track of the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key is not just to give up. So if there are you know bad days are normal. So uh, that's what I wrote earlier this morning. So each day is a gift of a new beginning. So
Oh.
if the day is you didn't do much today about a certain aspect of your life, like didn't work out, you didn't feel like doing anything productive or anything. Tomorrow is another day, and yeah, and tomorrow is another one, and yeah,
But that's actually my struggle. My biggest struggle is that I like to start things, and it's very difficult for me to follow through. And for the things that I really start, there are things that I actually achieved a lot, and like there's a very great output already. But what if I do it really well? Like I really follow through till the last breath, you know? But that's what I've been struggling with, because like people from the outside would say, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing! You did this," but actually that's not what I was striving for. That's not the 100. And I guess I just gave you 50 because um I didn't follow through, for example, but I really wanted to reach the 100. But I also failed to acknowledge that I actually did the 50, and it's actually good, and it's still someone's for another person it's a very good accomplishment. But in the end, I would still rate myself 4. I would still rate myself 3, because that's not up to the standard. Like Sheila said, you're always comparing yourself to the standard of what you think you should be and what you should be doing at the moment. And it surprises me at how other people get uh, motivated or inspired with what we're doing, but we ourselves are not. I mean, at least for me, I'm speaking for myself that it's just that I just started like a thousand push-up challenge. So we did 1,000 push-up November, and December, I've been doing 100 push-ups with a friend as well, uh, every day. So we just call each other, do push-ups. People think we're weird, like push-ups, okay, 25, and then bye. And then we call each other again, 25, and then bye, and then 100. Okay, do extra 25 for banking in case there are days for, but just those things. And then there was a day when I didn't do, I only did 75, and it was already 11:30, 11:45, and like shit, I forgot to do the 25. And I just rose out of the bed and do the other 25. And I messaged my friend, and then he said he also had that in his life, and he said, "What's wrong with us? We're the one who put that. Like, there's no penalty, you know. There, no one's gonna say you're crazy. People will say, oh my gosh, you've been doing 75 push-ups a day. It's still an accomplishment, but in our heads, it's never enough because we said it's 100 every single day. But yeah, this is the struggle that I have personally on my day-to-day life, because the people would see the 75, but I want to get to the 100. And people would see you do 75 every 4 days, but I want to get to 7. So there is no alignment there. But then you guys come around and say, hey, but you did 75, for example. Keep it in check that there's this, you have this measure, they have this another, the civilizations or the society's measure, but there's this middle ground, I think, of, yeah, yes and no. Still, you still have to push yourself maybe tomorrow or make those adjustments. And as Sheila said, tomorrow is another day, like, and the next day is another day. But yeah, it's so difficult to remind myself that every day. So yeah, this has been very I should get rid of very. I keep saying very, but this has been very fulfilling in the sense that you get to appreciate what you've done, and then you can imagine what you can still do. But yeah, still my biggest challenge would be starting and following through. I mean, following through. Starting, no problem. I could always start whatever, but following through, that's where you guys are very helpful in that. So.
Yeah, I actually can relate to what you said. So, for example, we just look at the miso. So, in 100, there's 75 things that we did, and then there's 25 that's missing. And yeah, sometimes we're just looking at that, like what I've mentioned, that I'm looking still at the perfectionist side. So, I think that's the negativity bias. So, it's one of the cognitive bias that human tend to look at the negative aspect instead of the positive side. So, for example, there was this research that you know s- someone gave feedback to something, to a work of something. Like there's this like 10 positive feedback that that person got, and there's this one negative feedback that that person got. And even it's just one simple negative feedback, people tend to look at that negative
Yeah.
one thing that's negative instead of the 9 things that that was pretty good about that feedback on that thing. So I think that's the negativity bias, and most of the people, or if not all, suffer from that. So it's one of the cognitive bias that yeah, we should be aware of.
I
It's
totally
amazing how you have all these studies.
yeah. I totally agree with that too. Like I also have this thing, so I'm as Catherine said, I don't have a problem with starting things. Like I'm so excited to start. Like it's like you said in your post. Like sometimes you wake up and you're like, I should be able to achieve so much more, and I want to do this and that, and I feel like, oh, if I do this, I feel like I can be really good at this, and then I just try to pile up all these things, and then I tell my friends, and they are always like, it's amazing, you're doing so many things, how are you able to juggle with all these things in one day, or every day? And then I'm just like, yeah, but I'm not doing any of them like 100% as I want to be able to do. And yeah, that's one of the big struggles, but I think it's the thing that we try to be perfect from the start,
Yeah.
and that's not possible. Like you have to start somehow. Like as I'm reading my post right now, I'm like, yeah, I can really feel that I don't have that much structure. I just throw out everything I feel at the moment, and that's my writing style. I just write whatever I want, and then I'm like, it's enough, that's good. And I think that it's fine now that I read it. I think it's fine, it's good, because now I posted there, and then I keep posting other things, and I can see the progress there. I'm sure that I will see the progress there, because now that I'm reading your posts, I can see the structures and all the things that I can learn from, and then later on I know that I will be better at writing and everything. it's just it's a progress, and that's why we are three progress freaks.
That's just what I was gonna say. We're progress freaks anyway, so.